Good evening, everybody. It is Thursday. It is Thursday. I think it's Thursday. Hold on, let me double check. Make sure it's Thursday. Yes, it's Thursday. All right, I can see you guys over on YouTube. Yes, it is Thursday, August 17th, 2023. Here we are, having lots of fun with Alara tonight, right, guys? It's always fun with Alara. That's right. All right, so we didn't get up on Rumble. That wasn't successful, but I think I understand why it's not going up on Rumble. So hopefully I'll be able to fix the problem and it will actually go live next time. But I will upload it after the show is done. So it will be over there and available when I'm all done. It's good to see you guys. Amanda is awake. Hi, Alien Girl. Mel Tulip. T-Roy, look, I haven't seen T-Roy in forever. What's going on, man? I ain't seen you around the foxhole. Where you been? I haven't seen T-Roy in a minute. Good to see you. Dennis Howe, Steve Dickman looks like he's a new one. I don't recognize his name. Good to see you, Alien Girl. I'm going to be going over to Alien Girls pretty soon and doing a show with her. I'm not sure when, but yeah, that'll be exciting. I'll definitely post links. She's a really awesome girl. There's not many. I'm not quiet about the fact that I don't dig that many people in the UFO community, and she's one of the few that I dig. So that says something. Let's see. Who's this here? Low Tech Revolution. You must be new. Yes, Alara. Love, life, light, love. Great to have you back. Space Force News forever. Thanks, man. Appreciate it, guys. It's good to see all of you. Jamie Fairley, Amanda is awake. Nick of Time. It's good to see all you guys. All right, who we got over on the foxhole? Hi, Neo. Good to see ya. Hi, I find it. Puddin' Hollow, Morning Flower. Thank you for jumping in. Settling in the cowboy accent. Am I settling in the cowboy accent? And shredding the southern accent. Well, it happens when you get around these West Coast. Should I be gentle about my wording or not gentle? It goes away here. Your southern accent goes away very quickly, and I'm surprised I've kept any of it. But you know, hi Keystone, good to see you. It's good to see you guys, man. Hi Matthew. Yeah. So okay. So here's what's going on. Let's see. What should we do first? Well, let me see. Since this is only like the second show back, I will do a little bit of an explanation for the folks that maybe haven't seen me in a year. How do you get a comment off the screen when? Oh, there we go. Well, that's complicated there. So yeah, I've been gone for I don't know a year, a little over a year, close to a year and a half, something like that. I had some health issues I had to deal with, and I went to trucking school. I did a few things like that, and it kind of took up all my time, and I had to stop doing shows. So, yes, Foil is still around. You will see her from time to time. Thank you, Castle Drummer, for the cookie over on the Foxhole. I appreciate your support. I am demonetized over on YouTube, you guys. I just went for too long without streaming. I don't know when I'll get that ability back. But in the meantime, you can support this channel through Cash App or with gold pills over on the Foxhole, which you should have already made an account on by now because pill.net is awesome. The people over there are awesome. It's an awesome place. Even most of the names that I see on YouTube, I see them over in the Foxhole too. I think just about everybody has made accounts over there, whether they hang out over there or not. So where was I? So yeah, I've been gone for like a year and a half. And anyway, I'm back in the saddle again, back literally in the saddle, literally in Arizona. You know what's crazy? I come back here to the desert, right? And there's actually like a hurricane headed for this area right now. I think that's so funny. We haven't had a tropical storm or a hurricane hit Southern California or Western Arizona since 1939. And now we're going to get one this weekend. So I don't know if I brought the weather with me or what. Hey, good to see you, Allie. I made you a mod over there. Thank you for being here. So yeah, I think I brought the tropical storm. I don't know what I did because it's coming, but I'm excited because it never rains here. I'm super excited for it to rain. Although I don't need Spike here to get any bigger than he already is. That plant is outgrowing the studio. And same thing with Prickles. It's getting little new cactus heads growing out the side. And I don't know what I'm going to do because I'm not a cactus trimmer. You know what I mean? How do I trim a cactus and make it not die? I don't know. I didn't do very good with the two basil plants that I had. They both died at some point. So I don't know how this is going to work out. I really love them and I don't want to hurt them, but pretty soon it's going to be like, what's that movie with that plant that eats or whatever eats people? It's going to be like that. The plants are going to be, cactus is going to be eating me. And anyway, I want to say a big thank you to Big Hair Tsunami, who has actually helped me a lot in the last year. Quite a bit. And I really appreciate that. And there was a couple Cash App donations last week when I was on. I didn't notice because I'm terrible with that. I'm trying to get more organized here into my routine. And so thank you for your donation. And also thank you, Forrest Friend, for her donation and for her help with everything. Greatly, greatly appreciated. So yeah, what's the next order of business? Next order of business would be... So the MH370 stuff, let's talk about that for a second. So the last show that I came on here and did was MH370, where I showed you those weird videos. One was FLIR footage. One was satellite footage in regards to MH370. It's been going around. It's all over Twitter. It's really taken off since last week. Anyway, I been kind of looking for somebody to debunk it or whatever. So I reached out. Well, actually, my friend reached out to me because I said I needed someone to do forensics on it. I have a friend who does forensics. I didn't even think about it at the time. And he messaged me and he was like, do you need me to do forensics on these videos? I said, yes, please. I would like to know what's going on with these. So he did that. Now I have all the slides, but the problem is with the presentation that I'm doing tonight, it's really hard for me to shrink my Twitter DMs down and show you all the screenshots. So he's going to put everything into a PowerPoint presentation, and I'm going to show you guys that on Sunday because I would never tell you what the results are without presenting you all the slides and the screenshots. So I will be doing that. So what I'm going to be doing on Sunday, I will be back at 5:00 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern on Sunday. And I will be just doing some space and science news and some UFO stuff. And that's kind of what I'll be doing on Sunday, and then I will show all the slides for the MH370 forensic stuff. Okay, but the results of the forensics say that those videos are genuine. So we've at least gotten that far that we know that the videos are genuine. Now the question is it MH370 that was abducted in that footage? But the footage appears to be genuine. So it just makes it all the more mysterious, and I see people going at it, trying to tear this stuff apart and figure out what's going on. But at least we're that far now. We know that they're actually genuine videos. So, the major issue last show with that was, okay, the timing, right? So when the plane was taken, and in my estimation, doesn't exactly line up with that footage. So that remains to be seen. But the fact that that Chinese satellite caught those 3 UFOs in the vicinity of that plane, that is very compelling. So I don't know. I'm staying open to the possibility, monitoring all the things that I see and the people doing work on it. And as soon as I know more, I will let you know. But definitely on Sunday night when I do the kind of tech space update news hangout that we're going to do on Sunday night, when I do that, I will definitely show you the screenshots from that, show you what I'm talking about. So wild stuff, guys. That means we actually caught a portal being opened up by UFOs and kidnapping a plane. Whether it's MH370 or not, that's what those videos show. That's wild. I've never seen no footage like that in my life. It really makes me wonder who leaked those, right? Like, that's almost the best way to get somewhere with disclosure, right? Is to leak stuff, because we're not going to get anything officially. You see the circus show with disclosure. It's ridiculous. We're not going to get anything. So, yeah, leaking stuff is a great idea. If you're somebody out there that's got the stuff and you can safely do it, leak it. And you can leak it to me. I'll get it out there. So I got no issues with that. Alara gives 0. You know what I mean? I am so tired of the gas, coal, and oil and the manipulation on this planet. It is so ridiculous and so frustrating. Now, I don't understand. Yeah. Okay. Hi, Christina. I see you over on the Rumble chat. Forest Friend, thank you guys. Yeah, it didn't go up on Rumble. I think I know why. I'll be able to fix it after the show. But yeah, there's going to be a few hiccups in this comeback show here. So good to see you, Don No. I wanted to spend a couple of minutes with you guys before I jump into a slideshow presentation and can't really talk to you much. So, but I hope that you enjoy. I think you will enjoy what I'm going to show you. So, basically, I did a presentation a couple years ago. I made this presentation on intelligent design. And it kind of came as a result of doing Space Force News and going through all these science articles and seeing all this stuff on a regular basis. And I was starting to see stuff that proved intelligent design. And I started to put it together into a PowerPoint, into a presentation. And I thought it'd be a good idea to do this for the new people too, so they could kind of get to know who I am and my story a little bit and how I arrived here, where I'm at today with you guys and with a YouTube channel and why I'm into what I'm into. So, I think it kind of explains that. And I think it kind of goes into proving intelligent design. Anybody that kind of is familiar with this channel, has been around a while, knows that I'm not a religious person, but I am a very spiritual person. And I wasn't always that way. I became that way as a result of, anyway, I'll go into it a little bit in the presentation, and I'll start with that. We'll get going. All right. So yeah, I've had a lot of weird things happen to me, basically, and it's made me who I am. So it's cool, you know, although I haven't seen a ship in like 2 years, and that bothers me because I miss having experiences like that. This places can be depressing sometimes. All right, so let's see. Let's hope this works right. Yeah, it looks like it's going to work right. Okay, in order to run this from right here, I need to move that over here. So give me just a second, guys. I'm going to struggle bus for a minute. Okay, where's the Google? Oh no, what have I done? Okay. Here. I think I can move it over here. Maybe? Let's see. Okay, give me just a second. I can move it over here. Yeah, buddy. Sure can. See? Be amazed what you can do when you just put your mind to it. And I can still see the chat. Look at that. Oh no, but I can't control anything. Hold on. Figure this out. Okay, that should work. I think that'll work. Okay, so let me pull up the presentation here so I can start it. Yeah, now I can see everything. Okay, that works. Perfect. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and jump into it. Oh. There we go. All right, can you guys see the screen clearly? I hope so. I hope you can see, hope you can hear. Everything is working. All right, so who is Alara? We're going to start there briefly with who I am for those that are new around here. So Alara is a mystic, a starseed, a wanderer, and a patriot. I'm a student and a teacher and a humble servant of the One. I'm a warrior of the rainbow, a maverick, a visionary, a way shower, and a spark of the divine, as is each and every one of us. I'm a soul fortunate enough to have woken up before her slumbering misdirection eclipsed her path of enlightenment and service, and I am truly blessed to be here with all of you today. Let's see here. Where is my, why is it not letting me control the slides? Hold on a second, guys. I think I just pulled up the wrong thing. No, maybe. Yeah? Okay. All right. This is working. I'm so excited. Okay, we will kind of come back to that. Okay. My story is complex. Oops. Yeah, that's fine. My story is complex and colorful, sometimes mundane and marvelous, but at its conclusion, destined to be full and extraordinary, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Let's go into a little bit of backstory about who I am and why I'm here talking to you guys today. All right, so I woke up, what I call waking up. Okay. I woke up in 2017 when a UFO, UAP, however you want to word it, often referred to as the dark craft, decloaked in front of me. And I will show you a picture of the ship, exact ship that I'm talking about. So yeah, the ship decloaked in front of me. And as a result of this experience, many things about me and the way that I lived shifted almost instantly. I could tell you give you an example of kind of one of the things that happened to me that was very kind of crazy through this whole process. There was like I don't know how long it was, guys. I can't even tell you. Time was kind of stopped back then. But I hid in my house for a number of months. I wouldn't even go outside. I thought there was reptilians out there. I didn't know what was going on. I was tripped out. I was in shock for a long time. And then, for a good portion of time, I put headphones on, I listened to trance music, and I just walked around because I just wanted to be in creation. And I could see things that I couldn't see before. It was amazing. Anyway, so one of the more dramatic things that happened was, and this is why I kind of became a vegan, is because I could read energy all of a sudden. It wasn't an ability that I had most of my life, but all of a sudden I had it. And it was kind of a trip. And so I used to love cheeseburgers. I loved fast food. I ate really crappy food. This was like a hallmark of the way that I lived my life before, right? And all of a sudden I looked at that same cheeseburger, somebody was cooking one, and I could see the negative energy that was attached to it. The only way I would explain it, I could perceive things beyond just smell and touch and taste. And what I could perceive was all the negative energy that came from that being that was killed right before that meat was prepared. And I didn't want that in my physical body. I viewed my body as a temple, like it says in the Bible. And I didn't want anything that had negative energy assimilated into my physical complex. And so as a result of that experience and experiences like it, I became a vegetarian and then eventually a vegan. So, and then eventually a raw vegan. So, but that was all just very spiritual stuff for me. It wasn't like, I watched one too many PETA commercials and felt compelled to become a vegan. It's nothing like that. Anyway, I'm not anymore, but that's a good example of kind of what happened to me. So I experienced our creator and the unity of all of creation on a very, very profound level. I'm sure this has happened to other people. I'm not the only one. I know a lot of people are waking up, quote unquote, waking up, and they're all having these kind of experiences. I'm definitely not the only one. So my psychic abilities were greatly enhanced. And this kind of happened to me overnight. It was really frightening, actually. I could perceive interdimensional beings and Earth humans who had crossed over. So there was a few experiences I had where deceased people started sending me messages and talking to me. One of those deceased beings specifically was one of my exes that was passed away. And he started telling me stuff I didn't necessarily want to know, But anyway, so that was wild. And it took me a long time to adjust to this kind of stuff. I had no idea that this stuff was even possible, let alone having it happen to me all at once. I suddenly felt this really profound mercy for the sleeping person that I was before and the horrible mistakes that I made out of ignorance and confusion. Like I was never mad at myself for what I had done. I felt really bad for her. That she just didn't know if there was a God, didn't know if there was a creator, didn't know what she was doing here, had all of this stuff happening. And that person made the choices she made because she was ignorant and confused. And I just felt this profound mercy for myself and for humanity. I felt this immense love for the human race and a compulsion to serve and assist for the rest of my time here. And you'll see me battle with that from time to time. Like I really kind of don't like people, but at the same time, I love humanity and I want to see them progress where I know that where it's possible for them to progress to. So I became aware of the fact that I myself was some form of an otherworldly being incarnate. So I'll just tell you a quick sentence on this because you guys might think it's funny. So one of my first memories as a kid, actually, I think it is my first memory as a child, is doing a cartwheel. And it's one of my first memories. And I remember tripping out on the fact that I had legs. I was like, this is so cool that I have legs. This is awesome. And anyway, I thought it was so cool that I had legs because apparently wherever I come from, I didn't have those before. And so I was trying to do a cartwheel in my dress. And my grandpa got mad at me and yelled at me because apparently on this planet, girls are not supposed to do cartwheels in a dress. That's that's frowned upon. So yeah, I got in trouble for that. And that's how I learned real quick what planet Earth was going to be about. And yeah, it was kind of a bummer. But I was so excited to have legs. I still am excited to have legs. You know what I'm saying? Although my legs are getting old now, they're not quite as useful and effective as they once were. I started a YouTube channel in 2019. I've done a whole number of things, various things, and I love hanging out with you guys and sharing information. And it's just a passion of mine, I guess. I just love to do it. So, all right, moving right along to the main event here, the science of creation, how science is beginning to prove intelligent design. And here is our good old friend, Albert Einstein. The important thing is to not ever stop questioning. Now, after I had my awakening experience, I had that feeling of complete connection with everything around me. And I realized that we weren't an accident and that there was a creator. And I knew this as a fact now. And I thought, if I know this to be true, there must be evidence. And so I started looking. And I realized there was evidence of intelligent design all around us. And I want to share some of that with you today. All right. The word. I was never a Bible person. I never paid much attention to it, essentially because I simply couldn't understand it. You might as well have been Sweekins Swahili to me. I just didn't get it. But after my awakening, I was guided to pick it up and try again. And so that's what I did. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The same was in the beginning with God. All things were made by him, and without him, not anything made that was made. In him was life, and the life was the light of men. And the light shineth into the darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not. John 1, 1-5. When God says he divided the light from the darkness, could God have meant dark matter from the current physical light hologram where we exist? Is most of the universe made of dark matter, yet we still have no clue what it actually is? What do you see when you read the creation in Genesis? What if we look at Genesis like a scientist? Do you know what is meant by the waters and the term the firmament? What if understanding biblical text is like everything else in creation, a matter of energy, frequency, and vibration? What if my shift in frequency gave me the ability to decode things in the Bible that I couldn't understand before? Here's the problem. People tend to look at the Bible or religious texts in general and science as two mutually exclusive propositions. What I came to understand is that the Bible was written in a language appropriate at the time, but with our growing understanding of the science of quantum physics today, we can now evaluate those words through a whole new lens. I believe that understanding biblical text is a matter of resonance, not mental processing power. This is something achieved through a shift in frequency or a shift in consciousness. This is absolutely not a cerebral process. Now let's begin with dark matter. Ooh, dark matter, right? Everybody's heard of dark matter. I'm going to try to break down this science stuff as best that I can. But I promise you, there's some stuff in here that's pretty fascinating. So stick with me. All right, dark matter. In some cosmological theories, non-luminous material that is postulated to exist in space that could take any of several forms, including weakly interacting particles, cold dark matter, or high-energy randomly moving particles created soon after the Big Bang, also known as hot dark matter. That sounds kinky, doesn't it? Hot dark matter. All right, dark matter is believed to be a form of matter thought to account for approximately 85% of the matter in the universe and about 27% of its total mass energy density, or about 2.241 times 10 kilograms. Its presence is implied in a variety of astrophysical observations, including gravitational effects that cannot be explained by accepted theories of gravity, gravity, unless more matter is present than can be seen. A theoretical particle physicist at the University of California, Riverside and colleagues have published a research paper in the Journal of High Energy Physics that shows how theories positing the existence of a new type of force could help explain dark matter's properties. We live in an ocean of dark matter, yet we know very little about what it could be, said Flip Tonato, an assistant professor of physics and astronomy and the paper's senior author. It is one of the most vexing known unknowns in nature. We know it exists, but we do not know how to look for it or why it hasn't shown up where we expected it. Dark matter is just this huge mystery, right? This thing we can't explain. Tonato's research proposes the existence of an extra dimension in space-time to search for dark matter. According to this theory, some of the dark matter particles don't behave like particles. In effect, invisible particles interact with even more invisible particles in such a way that the latter cease to behave like particles. Could we be witnessing the subconscious of the universe? The goal of my research program for the past 2 years is to extend the idea of dark matter talking to dark forces, Tonato said. Over the past decade, physicists have come to appreciate that in addition to dark matter, hidden dark forces may govern dark matter's interactions. These could completely rewrite the rules for how we ought to look for dark matter. If two particles of dark matter are attracted to or repelled by each other, then dark forces are operating. Tonato explained that dark forces are described mathematically by a theory with extra dimensions and appear as a continuum of particles that could address puzzles seen in small galaxies. Our ongoing research program at UCR is a further generalization of the dark force proposal, he said. Our observed universe has 3 dimensions of space. We propose that there may be a 4th dimension that only the dark forces know about. The extra sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? The extra dimension can explain why dark matter was hidden so well from our attempts to study it in a lab. Now, Tonato is proposing that there is a 4th dimension that only the dark forces know about or have access to, and has until now defied all attempts to study it in a lab. Could this be the veil, the subconscious of the divine? There are mathematical puzzles within this dark matter, and we know that math is the language of the universe, anything but random. Could this be an expression of the divine? Math shows an overarching organization, and organization tends to point to design. Okay. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. And God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. And no, I'm not about to tell you that the earth is flat. I'm absolutely not about to tell you that. Hang in there. According to the Hebrew Greek, the firmament was a literal solid structure dividing literal waters. But with our understanding now of the quanta, we know that solid isn't, and perhaps waters are not even actually waters. Could God be talking about cosmic soup? Let's learn a little bit about quark gluon plasma. Quark gluon plasma. Smashing together lead particles at 99.9999991% the speed of light, scientists have recreated the first matter that appeared after the Big Bang. Out of the wreck came a primordial type of matter known as quark gluon plasma, or QGP. It only lasted a fraction of a second, but for the first time, scientists were able to probe the plasma's liquid-like characteristics, finding it to have less resistance to flow than any other known substance, and determine how it evolved in the first moments in the early universe. After the Big Bang, the universe was thought to be a soup of energy before it rapidly expanded during a period known as inflation, which allowed the universe to cool enough for matter to form. Here is the timeline of the inflationary universe. We got the Big Bang there at the end. An indefinitely dense moment 13.7 billion years ago, the universe is born from a singularity. Inflation, mysterious particle or force, accelerates the expansion. Some models inflate the universe by a factor of 10 to 26. Cosmic microwave background. After 380,000 years, loose electrons cool enough to combine with protons. The universe becomes transparent to light. The microwave background begins to shine. Then we've got the dark ages. You can see in there clouds of dark hydrogen gas cool and coalesce. The first stars, gas clouds collapse. The fusion of stars begins. And then we've got galaxy formation there all the way on the right side. Gravity causes galaxies to form, merge, and drift. Dark energy accelerates the expansion of the universe, but at a much slower rate than inflation. In the theory of the Big Bang, dark energy would be the force that accelerates the expansion of the universe, although at a much slower rate than the initial inflation. You like my cosmic soup can? I think it's cute. The first entities thought to emerge were quarks, a fundamental particle, and gluons, which carry the strong force that glues quarks together. As the universe cooled further, these particles formed subatomic particles called hadrons, some of which we know as protons and neutrons. A collision of two heavy ions produces an extremely hot, dense state of matter called quark-gluon plasma. Computer simulations indicate the swirling patterns could form in this material. Let's move on to one of the more fascinating aspects, which would be light and sound. Okay. Light and sound play a vital role in human life. Light triggers the sensation of seeing, and sound stimulates the hearing. They are both waves. Light falls into the category of electromagnetic waves, while sound is a mechanical wave. Now listen. In the beginning was the word, a sound, the primordial Om. And from the sound came the light. And from the light came the organization of all that was made, displayed in sacred geometry and spoken in the language of mathematics. This was the creation, a word, the sound, the light, organization carried on a wave. Now stick with me. I'm going to show you.
The film you're about to see has no characters. If you spare a little of your imagination, it is a film to describe to you the effect of cymatic frequencies on matter.
Shout out to Nigel
Everything
Stanford.
owes existence solely and completely to sound.
Oh, what did I do? Oh no. Oh man, I love that video. Like, I can't even tell you guys. Shout out to Nigel Stanford. He's like such an amazing audio engineer. He's amazing. Anyway, I'll never forget the first time I saw that video. It blew me away. Like, it blew me away. To this day, it gives me chills. I love it. I love it. And I love sharing it with other people because it meant a lot to me when I first woke up. You know, it was just, it so accurately depicts the things that I try to describe and articulate. And it's amazing. It just, you can see our creator in it. You can see what sound does, and you can see the beauty of it and the design. And it's just, it's great. Okay. So moving right along. Did you know that sound creates light? So the Bible tells us that God spoke the light into existence, and from the sound came the light. Allow me to introduce you to one of the coolest things ever, sonoluminescence. Sonoluminescence is the emission of short bursts of light from imploding bubbles in a liquid when excited by sound. Check this out.
Sonoluminescence.
The first time I saw sonoluminescence was in a darkened room. I was transfixed to look at this spherical flask of fluid. And you'd look into the center, and in the center see a glowing blue-purple light, which could be seen with the unaided eye. It looked like a star in the heavens.
Seth Putterman called it the star in a jar, a tiny spot of bright light contained in a flask of liquid. This star in a jar is made when a sound wave is passed through a small bubble inside a flask of liquid. And this sound wave makes the bubble do something remarkable. First it expands, then it collapses. And this collapse happens so violently that vapor molecules trapped heat up so much that the bubble gives off an incredible burst of heat and light, several thousand times a second, giving the appearance of a star.
How crazy is that, right? So what happened over on YouTube? They nuked me on YouTube? Oh, great. Yeah, I totally forgot that would happen. I should have just done this as a Foxhole only show is what I should have done. I didn't even think about the videos in it. Yeah. So, so is it back on now? Keystone. Is it back on YouTube? If it's not on YouTube, yeah, Mud Rabbit says I'm back. So I'm back over on YouTube, guys. I'm not on Rumble right now. Something happened to my link. I'll get it worked out. But we're live over on the Foxhole and on YouTube. Apparently we are back on now. So I'm sure I'll get in trouble for that. But hey, you know. All right. So first it expands and then it collapses. I want you to take note of that as it will be relevant later. What science has discovered about sound, light, and matter. Researchers at the Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory in California successfully converted sound waves to light radiation by reversing a process that transforms electricity to sound, which is commonly used in cell phones. This is the first time that sound has been converted to light. For the first time, researchers at Caltech have figured out how to record videos of light moving in 3 dimensions. Thanks to its added ability to tell the polarization of light, Wang is hoping it could illuminate what he calls one of the greatest mysteries in physics: how sound waves create tiny bubbles inside liquids, releasing light when they burst, a process known as sonoluminescence. A century-old celestial mystery is one step closer to being solved as researchers discover a dozen ultra-powerful natural particle accelerators in our galaxy. The findings help astronomers understand the origin of cosmic rays, charged particles, and atomic nuclei flying through space at near light speed that have been imbued with mind-boggling amounts of energy. All right. So now you can see from sound came the light, and from the light came the matter. Now, I just displayed that they were able to make, one second. Yeah, that's right. Okay. I just displayed that they were able to make matter from light in a laboratory particle accelerator. It turns out the universe is full of ultra powerful natural particle accelerators, over a dozen in our galaxy alone. Do you believe in coincidences, or does this seem like intelligent design to you? All right, first it expands and then it collapses. How many of you are familiar with the Big Bounce theory? I know many have heard of the Big Bang, but what about the Big Bounce? This is a fairly new theoretical proposition, but in light of what we already discussed, I feel like this is the most compelling explanation. Humans have always entertained 2 basic theories about the origin of the universe. In one of them, the universe emerges in a single instant of creation, as in the Jewish and Christian and the Brazilian Carrasco's cosmogonies. In the other, the universe is eternal, consisting of an infinite series of cycles, as in the cosmogonies of the Babylonians and the Egyptians. In recent decades, it hasn't seemed like much of a contest. The Big Bang Theory standard stuff of textbooks and television shows enjoys strong support among today's cosmologists. But in the past few years, a growing number of cosmologists have cautiously revisited the alternative. They say the Big Bang might instead have been a big bounce. Big bounce continued. Some cosmologists favor a picture in which the universe expands and contracts cyclically like a lung, bouncing each time it shrinks to a certain size, while others propose that the cosmos only bounced once, that it had been contracting before the bounce, since the infinite past, and that it will expand forever after. In either model, time continues into the past and future without end. Telescopes could not find definitive evidence for cosmic inflation. Cosmic inflation would support the Big Bang. During the primordial spurt, if it happened, quantum ripples in the fabric of space-time would have become stretched and later imprinted as subtle swirls in the polarization of ancient light called the cosmic microwave background. All right. Now, do you see the light in the middle of the slide that I'm showing you? Thank you for the gold pills over on the foxhole, guys. I appreciate you. Thank you, Forkum Dano, for your, I think it was an EMP or a ship. Keystone Channel, thank you so much. Bella, Spaz Yeti, thank you guys. Really appreciate you. Okay, so let's see. Do you see the light in the middle of the slide I'm showing you? This is where the bubble collapses. The light is created and the process starts all over again. Big bounce. Current future telescope experiments are hunting for these swirls. If they aren't seen in the next couple of decades, this won't entirely disprove inflation. The telltale swirls could simply be too faint to make out, but it will strengthen the case for bounce cosmology, which doesn't predict the swirl pattern. The universe, impeccable plainness, the fact that no region of the sky contains significantly more matter than any other, and that space is breathtakingly flat as far as telescopes can see, is a mystery. To match its present uniformity, experts infer that the cosmos, when it was 1 centimeter across, must have had the same density everywhere to within 1 part in 100,000. But as it grew from an even smaller size, matter and energy ought to have immediately clumped together and contorted space-time. Why don't our telescopes see a universe wrecked by gravity? All right. Inflation was motivated by the idea that was crazy to have to assume the universe came out so smooth and not curved. In the inflation scenario, the centimeter-sized region results from the exponential expansion of a much smaller region, an initial speck measuring no more than a trillionth of a centimeter across. As long as that speck was infused with an inflation field that was smooth and flat, meaning its energy concentration didn't fluctuate across time or space, the speck would have inflated into a huge, smooth universe like our own. However, where exactly that infinitesimal speck came from and why it came out so smooth and flat itself to begin with, nobody actually knows. So now we're going to go into string theory. String theory for dummies. Because it is such a hard thing to understand. All right. Theorists have found many possible ways to embedded, that looks like imbued the inflation field into string theory, a candidate for the underlying quantum theory of gravity. So far, there's no evidence for or against these ideas. The bouncing models don't have a period of inflation. Instead, they add a period of contraction before a big bounce to explain our uniform universe. Now, I don't know exactly what this slide is doing where it's at, so we're just going to skip it for now. Okay, so moving on to gravity. Gravity, that elusive thing, right, that we totally don't understand, and we just call it gravity. Gravity, from the Latin word gravitas, meaning weight or gravitation, is a natural phenomena by which all things with mass or energy, including planets, stars, galaxies, and even light, are brought toward or gravitate toward one another. Gravity has an infinite range, although its effects become weaker as objects get further away. In general relativity, gravity is not a force between masses. Instead, gravity is an effect of the warping of space and time in the presence of mass. Without a force acting upon it, an object will move in a straight line. This explains why all objects fall at the same rate. Okay. Gravity is one of the 4 fundamental forces in nature, alongside electromagnetism and the strong and weak nuclear forces. Despite being all pervasive and important for keeping our feet from flying off the Earth, off of planet Earth, gravity remains in large part a puzzle to scientists. The standard model of particle physics, which describes the actions of almost all known particles and forces, leaves out gravity. While light is carried by a particle called a photon, physicists have no idea if there is an equivalent particle for gravity, which would be called a graviton. In the 1960s and 70s, astronomers Vera Rubin and Kent Ford showed the stars at the edges of galaxies were orbiting faster than should be possible. It's almost as if some unseen mass was tugging on them gravitationally, bringing to light a material that we now call what? Dark matter. That's where we get dark matter from. Gravity seems to be another one of these cosmic mysteries. In fact, gravity is the mystery that led us to look for dark matter in the first place. So oftentimes in science, we can see the effect that something has before we know what the cause is from, from those effects. We can get a good idea of what we should be looking for. When observing Neptune, we noticed a strange deviation in its orbit, almost like something was tugging at it. Pluto was actually predicted in the early 1900s because of its gravitational effects on the orbit of Neptune and Uranus, but we didn't discover it until 1930, when those same predictions told us where to look, and we had a telescope that could actually see it. All right, so can you see the organization here? The organization that is inherent in the universe cannot be a coincidence and points directly at intelligent design. For me, the most profound indication of this organizational principle that cannot possibly be a coincidence is the prevalence in all things of the Platonic solids, this sacred geometry, the eloquence of God manifest in form. All right, the Big Bang and cosmological evolution of the universe arose out of pure geometry. The new geometric version of quantum field theory could also facilitate the search for a theory of quantum gravity that would seamlessly connect the large and small scale pictures of the universe. Attempts thus far to incorporate gravity into the laws of physics at the quantum scale have run up against nonsensical infinities and deep paradoxes. That sounds like my life. Nonsensical infinities and deep paradoxes. The amplitude hedron, or a similar geometric object, could help by removing 2 deeply rooted principles of physics, locality and unitarity. The amplitude hedron itself does not describe gravity, but Arcanari, I always mutilate people's names. I really apologize, but this is just something that I do. I'm really good at this. So Arcanari, Hamed, something like that. And his collaborators think there might be related geometric object that does. All right. I'm going to talk to you now about the amplitude hedron, which is a fascinating thing. Physicists have discovered a Joule-like geometric object that dramatically simplifies calculations of particle interactions and challenges the notion that space and time are fundamental components of reality. The revelation that particle interactions, the most basic events in nature, may be consequences of geometry significantly advances a decades-long effort to reformulate quantum field theory, the body of laws describing elementary particles and their interactions. Interactions that were previously calculated with mathematical formulas, thousands of terms long, can now be described by computing the volume of the corresponding Joule-like amplitude hedron. Thank you, Prairie Friar. Appreciate you. Which yields an equivalent one-term expression. The new geometric version of quantum field theory could also facilitate the search for a theory of quantum gravity that would seamlessly connect the large and small scale pictures of the universe. Attempts thus far to incorporate gravity into the laws of physics at the quantum scale have run up against nonsensical infinities. There it is again. Nonsensical infinities and deep paradoxes, also known as my life. The amplitude hedron or similar geometric object could help by removing two deeply rooted principles of physics: locality and unitarity. All right. Yeah, amplitude hedron. Exciting stuff. Okay, so let me see. Where was I? Those are a lot of big words. But to simplify, this is a form that contains all forms. This is a bridge that can connect the micro with the macro of the cosmos. All right. See, it's in everything. It's all around you. The Platonic solids are found throughout all of nature, in biology, chemistry, and in physics. They are literally everywhere. All right. Let's talk about consciousness now, one of my favorite topics. I think this is about maybe another 10 minutes, guys, and it's going to be over pretty quick here, okay? It's not going to go on for hours, don't worry. I know it's a lot to kind of digest. So, all right, let's talk about consciousness for a minute. Is consciousness becoming aware of itself through the light matrix physical illusion? I mean, if I became aware of myself, just think about this for a second. If I became aware of myself and my connection to the creator and my connection to all that is, in the fashion that I did, could this be consciousness becoming aware of itself? This current experience that we're in right now, right? Could this be the origin of dark matter? What then is gravity? This mysterious force acting upon mass, which can only be observed on a galactic scale. As our understanding of the universe continues to evolve, there is a growing contingent among physicists that believe the universe itself is, in fact, a conscious being. And I will have to completely agree with that. That is what I experienced, that it is. We're just cut off. In the current level of the simulation, that's what I call it. In the current level of the simulation that we're in, we're cut off from it. And we can't really experience it until we get... It seems to me that people that go through NDEs or contact experiences, things like this... something happens to them where they're able to kind of see it. You know, I'm not the only one this has happened to. So why? I don't know. You know, I don't have the answer to that. But I know that the point of us being here is definitely to evolve. I myself have experienced this connection, and this is what motivates me daily to study and seek to comprehend these topics. In fact, in the 1980s, no less a renowned physicist than Sir Roger Penrose himself proposed that consciousness is present at the quantum level and actually linked consciousness with quantum mechanics, saying that these complex physical systems led to consciousness, which then produced mathematics, which we see imbued in the universe around us. So what then is consciousness? Is consciousness outside of the domain of science? Is spirit outside of the domain of science? The first evidence for a constantly active brain came from electrostenographic recordings showing electrical oscillations even when the participant was not performing any particular task. More recently, brain dynamics have been characterized by the presence of complex activity patterns, which cannot be completely attributed to background noise. So anybody that tells you that the brain is running all these processes is wrong. There's a consciousness behind it, okay? The brain is just a computer, right? It's just a computer that we use while we're here. Right. Spirit is the basic field of creation, and matter is created by spirit. Spirit is not created at a certain stage of material development. Rather, this material world is manifested only on the basis of spiritual energy. Buddhists believe that consciousness is the only thing that exists. The Hindus had the concept of Brahman, the universal Godhead from which all things sprang, and the Bible says that everything that was made started with the word. Could the universe be conscious itself? The organization inherent in the universe we've seen certainly leads me to think so. Spirit. One of the most fundamental principles of the restoration is that everything is eternal. Furthermore, the prophet Joseph Smith taught the great truth that all natural things, humans, plants, animals, and even the earth itself, had a dual creation. All things were organized first of spirit matter, which the prophet described as a more fine or pure state of matter, which is then closed with the coarser, more dense matter that we are familiar with in this life. I've come to believe that the genius of God is that he left his indelible mark on all things, from the smallest quantum particle to the collection of chemicals that make us what we are. The mark of our creator is there, and to me, the proof is simply inescapable. Our universe is a highly organized, evolved, undoubtedly spiritual, ultra-intelligent entity who we are just beginning to understand. And the size of his, her, its design are all around us if you just know where to look. Yeah, buddy. Thank you, Just Jim, for the can. I appreciate you. And that concludes my presentation on intelligent design. I hope that everyone enjoyed it. Let me see if I can get the screen back to normal here. There we go. Yeah, back to normal. All right, let me kill the slideshow. There we go. Okay, cool. Yeah, so back to normal. There we go. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so proof of creation is all around you guys. It's literally everywhere, and it's just magnificent. Our creator's magnificent. All this experience can seem like it's very dark sometimes, and it is, because why it's dark? Because we're cut off from our creator. That's why. And it can feel very dark, and we're always trying to fill that gap. In my experience, we're always trying to fill that gap with stuff: food, drugs, alcohol, love relationships. We're always trying to fill that gap that we have while we're here, because we're kind of cut off. We're not one with our creator at this level of the game, or whatever it is during the simulation that we're in, for whatever reason. And it can be very dark, and it's hard, and it's an uphill battle here, kind of fighting those things and staying connected. But there's a lot of things that you can do to sort of stay connected, and to seek a higher path. And if you're paying attention what those things are, and if you're paying attention to what you put in your physical complex, you're going to evolve as a being. And where we go or how we get out of here, I don't really know, but I know we'll get there. So, yeah. All right. Good night. Good night, EO. Good to see ya. Thank you, 23 Anon, for your donation over on the Foxhole. Really appreciate you. Let me go and check Cash App real quick. Make sure that I acknowledge anybody that's left stuff over there. So it looks like Mark, Curious Cat. Well, thank you for your donation over on Cash App. Really appreciate that. Appreciate you. All right, so sorry guys, give me just a second. So yeah, okay, so where are we? So what's coming up? Let's see, what's coming up? What time are we looking at here? Wow, did I really do that in an hour? That's incredible. I can't believe I did that in an hour. Well, I mean, I guess it was timed for an hour, so I guess that's kind of what it should happened. All right, so what's going to be coming up here? I'm kind of starting to get into a schedule now, so I can kind of let you know what's going to be coming up. For those of you that used to watch Conspiracy Couch, Foyle and I will be doing a Conspiracy Couch episode. My friend Desiree, she started a YouTube channel, and she is a TI. and she has a foundation that helps TIs, and she's a really amazing chick with a really amazing story. I've known her for years, and I don't know why. I don't think she's ever been on my channel. I don't think so, but it's a long time coming. She should. So she started a YouTube channel. I think she's trying to get up to her 1,000 subs so that she can start live streaming. Anyway, perfect timing, because Foyle and I, when we left off on the last Conspiracy Couch episode, back when we did the last one, our next topic was going to be TIs. So we're going to do a Conspiracy Couch episode in the next couple of weeks, Conspiracy Couch call-in about the subject of TIs. So I encourage, of course, any TIs that hear about this to call in and share their experience with us. Thank you, Forrest Friend, for the can. That's what the show is going to be all about, is about exposing that. And we'll hear from Desiree. She'll be our guest for the night. And yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to that. As I mentioned, on Sunday night, same time, 5 p.m. Pacific. I'm just going to stick with that for right now, 8 p.m. Eastern, until it doesn't work anymore. I will be back doing some updates on some science stuff and some UFO stuff. Let's see. Yeah, I'll be going through the screenshots of the videos, the forensics from the MH370 videos. I will be breaking that down. I will be going to the troop movement in South America, i.e. that crazy stuff going on and related to all the UFO stuff that's going down there and the stuff that's been going on in Peru. So we'll kind of go into that troop movement. There's some tech news that I want to go into, defense news, and some non-human intelligence sort of stuff going on. So we'll be going into that on Sunday night, hanging out, and I will be updating you on that stuff. We'll be doing that. And then in the next couple weeks, there's the Conspiracy Couch episode. I'm going to do an episode of what I'm going to call basically UFOs and chill. So we're going to go through a bunch of UFO videos, see what you guys think, if you think they're real or not. We'll kind of go through those and just chill and hang out. I'll do that soon. I'm also going to go into the amendment breakdown. I'm going to break down the entire amendment that came out with regards to the UFO topic. We're going to do that. And I'm also going to be doing a Law of One episode coming up really soon. So guys, let me know what you think I should do it on. I'm tempted to do it on Bigfoot. There's a lot of interesting stuff about Bigfoot in the Law of One. So I could do it on, hey, Foyle, good to see you. Glad you're here. I think I saw, no, that's Karen Allen. I thought I saw Karen Hare. Hi, Rainbow Snuggle Fritz. Where was I? Yeah, so Law of One. I can do any topic on the Law of One you guys would like. As some of you know, I have read that book a million times. I read it constantly. It's like, it's the thing that I read the most. So anyway, I can go into pretty much any topic in there. I've already covered densities and UFOs, I think, in The Harvest. So those are all on a playlist on the channel that you can go back and watch. But I think I'll do Bigfoot next, unless you guys have any other fantastic ideas, or maybe I'll make a poll on Twitter and Telegram. I think you can make polls on Telegram and see what you guys want me to do. You're welcome to get my attention in any way that you can do that, and let me know what Law of One topic you would like me to cover. So let me see. I got all the Cash Apps, didn't I? Yes, I did. I got all the Cash Apps and the gold pills. Now, I used to release the scratching. I keep forgetting, guys. I'm supposed to release the scratching over there. I want to thank my mods. Thank you so much for being here and for helping out over on YouTube and on the Foxhole. We didn't have to worry about Rumble tonight, which was almost kind of helpful. But let me see if I can figure out how to release the scratching. I used to do this at one time. I'm having to remember how to do all this stuff. Yeah, sorry about the fair use thing tonight. I got to get hip with this stuff again. It's just been so long, It's been so long. And I couldn't run the fair use thing across the screen while I was doing that presentation. I didn't even think about that. So anyway, it is what it is. Where was I? Oh, the scratching. Okay, so let me go get the scratching. Let me get the scratching. Let me give you your treats. Those of you that have not made an account over on pill.net, I really highly recommend you do so. This is a good example of what happened tonight, because there's going to be stuff that I can only do over there because, and Rockfin, because they're free speech platforms and I don't have to worry about anything. So you're going to want to be subbed over there so that you can find my stuff when I can't put it on YouTube or Rumble. Alrighty. Yeah, no, I didn't say it. Yeah, I didn't want to trigger you, Foyle. Yeah. Okay, so let me get to the scratching. I know everybody over on the Foxhole wants their scratching. I remember the pain of needing the scratching, the whole situation now. I've just got to figure out how to ditch the chat and mute it. And I used to have a method for this, but, I'll figure it out again. I guess I'll have no choice. Let me see. I gotta mute it. There we go. See if I can figure out how to release the scratching. How do you release the scratching? Release scratch offs. There it is. Here we go, guys. Releasing the scratching now. I think scratching released. There you go. Get your prizes. Everybody get your prizes. All right. Scratching is released. All right. It was absolutely wonderful hanging out with everybody tonight. Thank you, Amethyst Cat, for the gold pills, and Rick Rolled, Aurelius Locke, Go Seppi, Aurelius Locke. Oh, those aren't gold pills; those are scratchings. See, look how long it's been since I've done that. That's hilarious. You like my truck on the set, Foil? Okay, that's the scratching going out. Good deal. All right. Does anybody have any questions for me before I take off for the night and bid you guys a good night? See you on Sunday. I don't think anybody has any questions. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end the show now. That was a lot of science and a lot of stuff to swallow. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream on that. I hope I got to go see what the damage over on YouTube is now. I should have never even put it up on YouTube. So anyway, thank you, Christina Lev. Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm happy to be back. I missed you guys a lot. I miss live streaming. I love doing this stuff. You know what I mean? And but I had a lot to accomplish in the last year, and I still have a lot to accomplish. You know, I kind of went into it a little bit on the test stream, but I'm, you know, buying property and building a homestead in northern Arizona, and so it's going to require a lot of money and a lot of dedication and a lot of time and a lot of effort, and over the next few years to get that done. But I feel that it's necessary, and so you know, that stuff kind of took priority. Getting my life in a certain place kind of took priority over this because it had to. So, but I'm happy to be back, and I'm going to figure out hopefully what I can do while I'm over the road as far as still continuing to have a show, even when I'm not off work, even when I'm driving. Maybe there's some way that I can do that. If there is a way I can do it, I'm definitely going to do that. So I will be keeping you guys updated on that. And all right, on that note, I'm going to say goodnight to you guys. Thank you for hanging out. I will see you Sunday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. And on that note, good evening.